Thank you for those, Martin from Gay Paris. So you join me here at Cartmel for a couple of races. It's going to be the starters, orders, qualifiers, the hurdle and the chase. First up is the hurdle. It's over 2 miles and 7 furlongs and 0 to 120. So Basil 40 for Martin Leadham, Tragic Cuddy for David Robertson, Darren Thompson's Noah Caradulce, Craig Beckwith's Doodle, Punctual Lontana for Alex Cherry, Phoebe Berry for David Robertson, Nebula Dawn for Nick Cooper, Nick Driver, Ted Diabassi for Matt Cooper's going to lead, Walk On Dynasty for Daniel French, Matt Cooper's Beer Money, Cabbage Patch for Stu Gray, Nick's also got Buenos Aires, Gen X also for Stu Gray, Alex Cherry's Lady Middleton, and Fields of Fire for Pontypool Racing. Nice big field here of 15, already racing in this idyllic little place of Cartmel up in Cumbria, which is up north for those of you that don't know where Cumbria is. Granger on the Sands, I think. Actually, a lovely little village, Cartmel. I've been there, but not for the racing. As we thought, it's Ted DiBiase that leads us for Matt Cooper, straight over the second. He's taken quite an advantage here already of about 5-6 lengths. Doodle was a little bit sloppy over that hurdle, but still plenty of racing. There's Craig Beckwith's horse at the rear in the blue silks, white sleeves, white cap. But Ted DiBiase from Gen X that's moved into secondary zone, although 5 lengths away. And over a wall of horses, the one on the outside is also Stu Gray's stablemate to Gen X, which is Cabbage Patch. But over towards the rail is Phoebe Berry and Punctual Lontana for Alex Cherry. Got a couple in here. Then we can see Field of Fire. Pecked a little bit there was Basil 40 up against the round. His outside is the first of the Nick Driver horses, Buenos Aires, and Nebula Dawn a little bit wider towards us. Back over towards the row is No Caradulce, with Lady Middleton a little bit wider. Beer Money, widest of all is Walk On Dynasty, just tucking in alongside Nebula Dawn. And back over towards the row is Doodle and Tragic Cuddy for Craig Beckwith and David Robertson. But there's Ted DiBiase. $1 Man goes over the fourth comfortably, as they'll get over that again. Doodle pecked a little bit on landing at the rear. Gen X in second, getting a few reminders, trying to get closer to this Ted DiBiase. Followed through by Cabbage Patch and Phoebe Berry. Then we got Punctual Lontana, Field of Fire. Basil 40's up against the row. And Buenos Aires, the stablemate of our leader Ted DiBiase, Beer Money. Outside of that is Nebula Dawn. Line of horses, which include Walk On Dynasty, Tragic Cuddy, Doodle, Nocared Dulce. As they go past the grandstand, they'll be going up that chute for the finish line. Got a couple more turns though to go round, but Ted DiBiase has got a 3-length advantage going into the fifth, takes it well. Staked there by Cabbage Patch, pecked on landing. Also at the rear is that Nocared Dulce, Darren Thompson. Lady Middleton getting a couple of reminders. They go over the 6. Pretty quick here. It's Ted DiBiase with a 3-length advantage from Gen X, and Cabbage Patch and Punctual Lontana and Field of Fire. And we've got Basil 40 off the rail now and allow Phoebe Berry up on his inside. The outside of that is Beer Money. The wider still are the 2 Nick Driver horses, Buenos Aires and Nebula Dawn. Walk On Dynasties in amongst the pack, as well as Tragic Cuddy. Up against the rail now is Doodle. And a couple back to Nocarid Dulce and Lady Middleton. To pass them all to win this one. So with just over 1.25 miles to go, as they go over the 7th, is this Ted DiBiase by about 3 to Gen X in second, then 3 back to Cabbage Patch and Punctual Lontana. Straighten up again, that's the chute we see from the other end. And it is Ted DiBiase. Still leading, been there since the beginning, from Gen X and Cabbage Patch, and then Punctual Lontana. Phoebe Berry, Field of Fire. Beer Money a little bit wider, Basil 40, Tragic Cuddy towards the row. Walk On Dynasty mid-pack along with Doodle. And Buenos Aires and Nebula Dawn. Just at the rear, Nocarid Dulce and Lady Middleton. Happy to sit in that last place, but Ted DiBiase is going to lead them around this long sweeping left from Gen X and Phoebe Berry moving closer all the time. Cabbage Patch. These 4 are just a length away from Field of Fire. Ray Clutterbuck. So Ted DiBiase happy to bowl along in front with just 6 furlongs left to run now. There's only 3 hurdles to take. It's Ted DiBiase. One more circuit from Phoebe Berry. Again, the pack's getting much closer now, starting to tighten up. It's Ted DiBiase under a bit of pressure now to maintain the lead from Phoebe Berry, who's just cruising alongside. Gen X are all starting to push along now with 4.5 furlongs left to go. And then Cabbage Patch and Buenos Aires moving well up on the outside. Inside of that is Field of Fire, Beer Money trying to follow him through. But over the 10th, the penultimate. And it's Ted DiBiase still leads from Phoebe Berry in second. Buenos Aires making great move through the pack, moves up into third. Gets over towards the round. Cabbage Patch and Beer Money. Then Gen X and Field of Fire and Tragic Cuddy. Still on the outside of that is Walk On Dynasty, but it's Ted DiBiase from Phoebe Berry. The one that's going backwards now is Buenos Aires. He's taking a few players with him, and it's Ted DiBiase and Phoebe Berry. Also stablemate Tragic Cuddy and Beer Money. It's Cooper and Robertson. They've got two in this apiece, and they're all over the 11th. And it's these two, Phoebe Berry and Ted DiBiase. And Phoebe Berry's getting up now, just by half a length. Ted DiBiase needs to home. He's got the rail. It's Ted DiBiase gets back up. Ted DiBiase from Phoebe Berry, Beer Money and Tragic Cuddy running on Knockout Dolphy. But Ted DiBiase pulls away from the field here inside the final half a furlong. Ted DiBiase is another win for Matt Cooper, finishing like a train is Knockout Dolphy. Phoebe Berry was third. Sure, Beer Money got up for fourth, and another win for Matt Cooper. I've underestimated your 40 total wins. You're just banging them in now. Great week for Matt. So takes that comfortably with Ted DiBiase. Knockerhead Dorothy for Darren Thompson got up from second after having a pretty slow run round. Phoebe Berry for Darren Thompson ended up being third. Beer Money for Matt Cooper got up for fourth, and Gen X for Stu Gray was fifth, and unfortunately doesn't qualify because it's only the first four. So Ted DiBiase, Knockerhead Dorothy, Phoebe Berry and Beer Money can all go to the final at week 13. Maybe see you there. We'll move on to the chase race.